Power rods are worth 5,000 coins each, so they aren't actually all that valuable. But how much value do you earn from bringing one with you and visiting the Power Rod room in Dam Battlegrounds? I made 9 different trips to the Power Rod room to find out, cataloging how much value I earned each time. I remember being completely new to Arc Raiders and finding that room with no explanation. I assumed I had to find the item somewhere nearby, so off I went hunting. Of course, that's not actually how it works, and more often than not, you're going to have to bring in your own power rod with you. But they do cost resources to make. Sure, most people aren't churning out heavy shields or snap hooks, so you don't really need to keep them, but they do cost arc circuitry and advanced electrical components that you might need elsewhere. After 9 runs, which took way longer than you'd think, here's what I found. So there are a few different things you'll be aiming for on each run. Wolf packs are basically guaranteed, and with the new crafting costs, this might actually be a cheaper way to get them than taking down Rocketeers. Weapons are always the best possible drops, since anything blue or higher sells for a serious coin if you aren't scrapping it for parks. Between the 2 wolf packs, the Patina, Torrent, and Vita Spray in run 1, we are already looking at nearly 57,000 coins. It's a great start. Run 2 is where things get really interesting. We got an extended barrel blueprint, which isn't worth much, but there definitely seems to be a higher chance of looting blueprints from here, so if you're on the hunt for those, that's very good to know. But honestly, the main story is the 2 Volcano 2s, which add 26,000 coins from those alone, pushing our total up to 63,000 for this run. Our third visit is a bit of a reality check. No weapon pairs, no blueprints, just a fairly average spread of grenades, consumables, and a Renegade 2 carrying most of the weight alongside a Vita Spray. We fell just short of 40,000 coins, which is a good reminder that there is variance at play here. In contrast, run 4 was the best run of them all. 2 Tempest 2s, which is 34,000 coins of profit alone, and then stack that with a Jolt Mine blueprint and a Berletta 3, and we're pushing over 70,000 value. If you're looking for high-tier epic weapons, this room can genuinely deliver them, and pretty frequently. So if your inventory's ever running short, just grab a power rod and come here. Run 5 is another quieter one, just under 42,000. The Osprey 2 and yet another Spray do most of the heavy lifting here, though it is a pretty lackluster run with not much to highlight. Run 6 brings us another blueprint, this time for the Explosive Mine. That's 3 blueprints in just 6 runs, which is giving us about a 50% drop rate. Pretty good. The Patina and Spray pushed this run to just over 50,000, which seems to be about the average value per run so far. Our 7th trip continues to tell us that you can almost always expect to get at least 1 wolf pack here, sometimes 2. Only once on 1 run did I fail to get a single wolf pack. So again, if you're in need of those and don't feel like spending resources to take down a Rocketeer, maybe swing by this room. Our 8th trip is when I firmly got tired of the Vita sprays dropping. Sure, I'll just sell them, but god, they're absolutely everywhere if you come here frequently. This one also shows the value of rare weapons, which you may not care about normally, but they're worth 10,000 coins each, which pushes this run up to 58,000. On our 9th and final run, we got both a Tempest 2 and a Volcano 2 plus a Showstopper blueprint. That's 4 blueprints in 9 runs, which is a 44% drop rate. That said, the rest of the loot is pretty limited, so we only ended up with 49,000 coins. So what's the verdict? Across 9 runs, the room generated 433,000 coins in pure profit, which works out to just over 48,000 per run on average. And that's after accounting for the cost of the power rod itself. If you don't, it's just above 50,000 per run. I think it's like 480,000 coins in value. But the value here goes beyond the raw coin, obviously. Wolf packs showed up in 8 of the 9 runs, totaling 12 across the entire experiment. More than 1 per run on average. Given what it costs to craft them now, that alone might justify the trip, depending on how much you rely on them. And like I said, blueprints dropped in 4 of the 9 runs, which is a 44% hit rate, but it's consistent enough to factor in if you're still trying to fill out your collection. And for what it's worth, I did do one of these rooms during a hurricane, and while the room itself gave me 2 blueprints, I also managed to find another, and then a friendly player dropped a 4th. So this might be even better in hurricane. You'll have to test it out for yourself. And then there are the weapons. Several runs delivered multiple blue or purple drops in a single visit, including 2 Tempest 2s and 2 Volcano 2s on separate runs. If you're hunting for high tier weapons to sell, break down for parts, or use, this room competes with just about anything else the game has to offer. The floor seems to be around 35,000 profit on a bad run, and the ceiling is north of 70,000 on a good one. That's a wide range, but the average is strong enough that as long as you have a power rod to spare, this room is almost always worth the detour if you spawn nearby. And like I said, that's assuming the room hasn't already been looted though, because let me tell you, despite being one of my easier videos conceptually, it was a nightmare to record. With Night Raid only available 1 hour each evening for me, it probably took me a good 10 days just to get this done. Between joining raids well in progress and spawning across the entire map, a lot of times I just didn't get there first. Someone had already looted it. But it's still worth considering bringing in a power rod if you need to farm any of these. Basically, if you have multiple safe pockets, bring a power rod. If you're happen to spawn in the area, go visit it. But if you only have one, it's probably not worth the effort. You don't want to be stuck carrying around a power rod when you have other priorities, unless you're willing to sacrifice the 5,000 coins value or the crafting materials, because chances are you'll stumble upon something better than just a power rod in your run. I hope you found this video interesting. If it helped you out, let me know in the comments below. You know, I'm always looking to do fun and cool things like this just to kind of calculate what's worth it, what's not. I could, in theory, do this for key rooms. That would take me ages, but I could if that's something you're interested in. Let me know if you want more stuff like this. I don't know. For once in my life, I haven't scripted an ending, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You know, all the usual stuff. For now, though, I think that's it. I'll see you next time.